And now, here's your guide to discovering the killer of death.
Is there some way beyond denying death or delaying death or doing your own death or simply dealing with your own death? Is there a way to destroy death? The death is inevitable. The Hindu sages of long ago said it well. You will know that you will die, but you don't know when, how, and where. Religions and philosophies will give you a way of managing death in a more meaningful way. Your family and science would give you a way of managing death in a more comfortable way. The real question is there a cure for death? Can death be destroyed? Can death be killed? Can we put death on death row? Can we place death in a death sentence? Can we find a death killer? I've got great news for you. Now that we've finished Killer Death, you can find the death killer. You can entrust your life into the death killer so that you can crush, defeat, vanquish, conquer death. Who is the death killer? A death killer has to give a purposeful and a powerful showing to demonstrate that he can get rid of death. That needs to be in public, not just noises and claims, not just proclamations and pronouncements or even promises. He needs to be able to give a public and a personal substantiation that he can beat death in its own game. For instance, a death killer, one, could suffer death. We all know that it's God who can take care of the death situation, but gods could not suffer death because they sit in their heavens. They're distant from us, and as a result, they're not authentic if they offer a solution to death. God would have to become man in order to suffer death. The Lord Jesus Christ is whom I want you to consider, because he said, I came down from heaven. I came down from heaven. God who came the human race and as a man, therefore, could suffer death. Secondly, a death killer would experience death. Not only could suffer death, would experience death. Because a death killer who does not experience death is simply empty in his talk, in his tongues, in his theories, and his theologies. You see, that's the problem with religious leaders and philosophers. They would experience death, and they stay there. Unless they come back to life, they can't give us directions on how to die. I occasionally buy owls from all over the world for my mentor. And a bird watcher asked me what kind of owl I want. I said, there are many kinds of owls. He said, yeah, there are 150 kinds of owls. And he went on to tell me how owls live and breed and eat. And I said, how do you know so much about owls? Were you an owl once? Of course not. He had owlology, but never had lived in owldom, never been an owl. The same way, religious leaders and philosophers, they have deathologies like the bird watcher watching an owl, but they have not experienced death, therefore cannot give us answers, solutions to death. They cannot be death killers, at least not yet. A death killer would experience death. Jesus, the Lord Jesus, not only came to the earth as a man, he said he came here to die. He didn't shun death. He didn't ignore, postpone, delay death. He did not solicit death. He did not bring it on, speed it on. He did not succumb to death. He said, I am going to decide when I lay down my life, and I will pick it up again. Instead, he spoiled death. He killed death. He would experience death. Not only could a death killer die and would a death killer die, but he should prove to us that he conquered death. A death killer should conquer death. That's what the Lord Jesus did. He predicted that he would die. On the third day, he raised himself from the dead. Eyewitnesses by the hundreds saw him, touched him, interacted with him, as he in first person perspective and self-conscious narrative interacted with them. Jesus became the death killer who could, would, and should met those criteria and did return to life, never to die again, and now offers a universal, permanent solution to the human race. He does not bar anybody from joining him, linking up with him as the death killer victor for the human situation. He basically says, whoever believes on me will not perish, but live. No person is barred. You can be from any language, any background, any religion, any caste, any class, any situation, any country, any ethnicity. You can believe on me, he says, the death killer.